Hello and welcome back to another stream. It has been a while. It has been a while. And I've been busy. I haven't painted quite as much as I would have liked in all of this time, but I've been busy with life, but also still with hobbying. I finally got my main 3D printer calibrated and tuned. It's been sitting idle for ages and ages. Got it up and running and been printing like crazy. Lots of neat hobby stuff. Most recently I did this little box here. It's just a set of tokens for 10th edition 40k. I got those from somebody else. I did not make these. Those were on, I think, Cults 3D. And then the box I did make, just a very simple process. And then I found this purity seal on Maker World and remixed that onto the lid here. So a nice secure little container for these tokens. I need to print more, but I've also been printing terrain like crazy. A bunch of Tau terrain because it's September, the month of Tau. So I've been trying to get as much done as I can. Every September I've let it pass me by, and I have regretted it. So this month I'm getting in on it. So got this listening post. I have another one in my bin over there, which I edited so that it would sit right on top of the objective markers. It looks very cool. I'll show that another time. And then we've got these. Let's see if I can turn the camera around here. Boom. Tau barracks from Dawn of War. So that's very cool. That comes from a file set from a creator called War Scenery. And so they've got these huge file sets of terrain, which are mostly from Dawn of War, which is why I was following them. So I have all of their Tau and all of their Space Marine stuff, which I will be working through over time. So looking forward to that. I feel like, oh yeah, there was some other stuff. Just today, this is my longest print so far. What is that? Sure, we'll go ahead and open that up. Finished this, or I should say this finished on its own while I was at work, but this set of containers, just scattered terrain, and these are, as you can tell, they're Tau themed, but they've got your individual crates that you can stack up and arrange however you like, and then they've got this little pallet base for added immersion. So yeah, pretty stoked with how these turned out, especially given how long it took to print them. These over here. Yeah, and miniature wise, I've finally finally got these Pathfinders assembled, all of their base colors on. So today, hopefully, we'll get I'll get pretty close to finishing them. The main thing, so I laid on their base colors and gave all of them a wash. So the main things that remain, I need to paint their, for lack of a better word, their boots, whatever it is that the Tau wear, around their hooves. And then some lenses for sure need to be done. Everybody in the back here has helmets with lenses. And I might let them be done with that. We'll see how I feel. Because I think it'd be fun to be able to get to one or two other units still in September. And I feel like if I am motivated and diligent enough, I can get through these guys and maybe even this unit of stealth or crisis suits that's been sitting in the back here. Other thing, the Grimdark Exchange mini is nearly finished. See if I can get this a little bit in here. I feel like the lighting gives a lot of shadows, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so I did commit to the Emperor's Huntsman for this guy. You can see he's got his emblem right there on his shoulder, underneath this wrap that's securing his radio. So that's neat. Did as much detail as I could on his little waist-high wall. I'm not 100% sure the best way to handle something like this shell that's shot through here. I ended up just painting it brass, like, you know, like it's a bullet. But I feel like a bullet in flight that just smashed through something maybe should look different, but I don't know what that should look like. So this is what we got. But yeah, we've got some lighting sort of on his back there, you know, reflection off this. And then I tried to accomplish some sort of shadows around the edges of this explosion where there's, you know, pieces of debris that are blocking the light. So he is pretty much done. I feel pretty good about him. The only thing that remains is his base. I've got a 40mm base set aside here. It's going to be his. I think I'm probably not going to glue him onto it, just so that there's less to potentially break in transit. Just send him and his base separately, and let the Grimdark Exchange fella attach him to it. I think his name is Dan. That's what I remember. But that might not be the case. But yeah. So today it's going to be these Pathfinders. It's going to be trying to get them closer to finished. Because I was so behind schedule, I'm not totally set up here, so you'll have to participate as I Get my wet palette and everything ready. The color scheme for my towel is one that I've had for a long time. Maybe, you know, if I don't get too distracted and got time, I can go into a little bit of their history, because like pretty much all of my 40k stuff, I started with, you know, the written aspect rather than the modeling and painting and stuff. So they have some pretty substantial background that's accumulated. I don't know how long ago I really started them. These are technically my second Tau army. Some details. So I created their their compendium document in 2019. Would have been, let's see, probably would have been around for a little bit before that, but all right. Let's go. Last stream hit a record 2 peak viewers. A record 2 peak. I feel like that sentence doesn't work. A record peak 2 viewers. More sense to me, but bruh, what is your deal? Just get in the freaking bag. That reminds me, I wanted to check the stream manager. Make sure I've got that open. Okay, sorry about that, that little echo there. Alright. Sometime soon I need to do a reorganization of my work desk here. Alright, but yes, this is an army that I've had for a long time, but in model form it's never grown very much. I think I have maybe 10 or 15 fire warrior types put together, and that's telling because you know, the last time you could take fire warriors in groups of 5 was well, you know, I think it was probably just in 9th edition, but it's been a while since then. But yeah, just a handful of fire warriors, handful of battle suits, commander and ethereal. I have some Vespid proxies. So they've been waiting on an expansion for a long time. And while I was really excited to work on the Leviathan box and the progress that I've made on that so far has definitely been motivational. These guys deserve a little bit more completion. So let's go with the zero rush here. This model in the back, which is a Piper makes Farsight proxy. This is supposed to be my Farsight model. But I've had the pieces for a long time and it didn't print out as clean as I would have liked. Just kind of spur of the moment, I ended up just gluing everything together and being like, yeah, let's just have something. But I do plan to reprint this because Piper has made these file sets very posable, so I want to make something a little bit more dynamic and interesting with it. Let's see how that turns out. I also think that there's a version that doesn't have this one has the Farsight emblem like right on its chest, and we are not part of the Farsight Sept, or I should say the Enclaves. So that's not what we want. So hopefully, I think that Piper eventually remade it so that it's kind of faction agnostic and you can have it be whatever you want. I've always had really big plans for these to out narratively. And their commander specifically. So hopefully now that the printing stuff is working better, I'll be able to push those plans forward on the model front. Excuse me. Alright, this is like not in a great position. Also, I just got a bunch of brown paint in my hand. Right. So, yeah, back when I first started assembling these Pathfinders, and they too have sat in wait in a partially completed state for years, probably. You still had to purchase war gear, and so I had magnetized them so that I could take as many rail rifles or ion rifles, or as few as I wanted. now that's pretty much irrelevant since all the war gear is free. Not entirely irrelevant, you know, there might be situations where you're like, actually, I'd rather have my whole squad with the carbines instead. But I think that I have only magnetized the rail rifle sets, and so I'm gonna have to go through my bits and see if I can find their remaining pulse carbines so that I can get those magnetized and included with everything else. The Pathfinders are basically going to have the same theme as the rest of the army, but they have this turquoise is featured a little bit more heavily on them. Their other main color is, you can see it right here. You know, so the turquoise is the Sept color. And because they are mainly urban fighters, their paint job, their camo, whatever you want to call it, is just kind of a standard gray. So on the infantry, that's similar. They've got gray helmets and mostly gray armor. I went with more of the Sept color on the Pathfinders, partially just to make them stand out a little bit, but also because I figured, you know, they are reconnaissance units. They are focusing a little bit more. They're not stealth suits or anything, but they are a little bit more interested in stealth than the regular infantry, and so I gave them kind of the darker scheme. And in doing so, I used some slightly darker mixes of their paint recipe, whatever. And I've also left this ink wash all over them with no highlights so far. I might change that, haven't decided yet, but I'm leaning towards just leaving it this way and just letting that kind of help emphasize that these guys are working a little bit. These are the intelligence gatherers. They're working a little bit more in the dark behind the scenes. So, that being the case, once these boots and lenses are done, I might just call it for the unit and move on to something else. Probably those battle suits over there. the other reason to finish up with this unit sooner rather than later is I've also got this base for the Grimdark Exchange Marine that needs to be primed and painted. So as soon as I shift focus to some other unpainted minis, then it can just hop on that train get based and painted and ready to go. I'm very excited to paint up some terrain for them as well. Got that barracks, got a big tall bunker. I don't think that was around last stream. Just blasted over his heel there, that's alright. And the texture on these boots, there's like these big knobs on the sides. I don't know if they're supposed to be buttons or some other function, but it seems like you could have another color on them. And if I do end up doing more work on these guys, I'll probably pick them out in something else. And you can see just right here, there's a little round bubble. And there's another one right there. Let's see, can we get rid of spam stuff? Boom. Ugh. There we go. This brush feels like it's on its last leg, so which wouldn't surprise me. I was not the best at taking care of my brushes back in the day. I'm a little bit better now since the revival. Got my brush cleaning soap and the like. But I think that I can only do so much to revive a brush that has been abused. So the progress plan is that hopefully tonight I will be able to run the print plate for the replacement Farsight, and hopefully she'll turn out fine with just one go. I've got two resin printers, but one of them is still needing some calibration, so it will not be able to contribute in this instance. But once that is ready to go, I've got some game trackers lined up that I'm going to print, and then the FDM printer is just going to be working on terrain. I've done these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towel pieces and 1 Space Marine, which was the sacred artifact from Dawn of War. But I have another big file set that's just supposed to be sort of generic Imperial like Hive City terrain, but it's modular, so you assemble the walls, the floors, everything kind of to your liking. So I want to get a good amount of that printed because it is a little bit closer to kind of the tournament standard terrain compared with these towel pieces, which are like, you know, just these round lumps that for the most part you can't really put models in them. I mean, the bunker has a space under its, you know, big roof where you're clearly supposed to be able to put models there, but it's not a ton of space, and the building itself does take up a lot of space. So they look awesome, and they're going to be cool terrain, but I have kind of come to really expect the sort of balanced tournament style terrain, and this modular set will be closer to that. But it'll also be able to be flexible to create other stuff since it is modular. So that's the next big printing project. Miniature wise, we've got these Pathfinders. I would pretty much say these 4 battle suits are for certain going to be the next project after them. And as long as it's September, I'm going to keep working on Tau. But given my record, I think the chances of me getting that far into my Tau backlog is pretty small. So I'm not doing orcs, so no need to worry about Orktober. But when October does come around, I'm not sure what we'll focus on. Probably just go back to working through the Leviathan box, even though I have been sitting on a ton of other Tyranid pieces, and I just got the Tomb World Kill Team box, which I would very much like to work on. But there's not like a huge hurry. Who knows if the Kill Team miniatures will even have official 40k rules by the time I get around to painting them. Although these days Games Workshop tends to work pretty quickly in that regard. So I wouldn't be surprised either way. Probably not going to try to get on that inner leg, that's a lot of work. Although his hoof should probably still be painted. Can definitely reach that. Yeah, I just did their skin. I don't think it was yesterday, I think it was the day before, but that was a nice moment. Suddenly, I mean, for these guys, that's like the only skin that they've got. But they're just dudes in armor. But for whatever reason, once I started doing the skin, they suddenly felt much more complete and alive. I think maybe it's just kind of a sort of a top to bottom effect, where before Oh, that was atrocious. Before I started working on the skin, they had basically just been painted from the head to the knees. So they were just kind of, you know, floating there on little black stands. And even with that, like, you know, their soft armor is dark gray, so it doesn't exactly stand out. It's appropriate, but yeah, it doesn't really grab the eye or anything. So once I started doing the skin, it was suddenly there was visual interest from the top to the bottom. And it made their poses and stuff a little bit clearer. So the little boots are just kind of a bridge at this point connecting the two areas. Alright, that goes all the way around. Just leaves 3 guys left. So, technically I was wrong when I say I had laid down all the base colors in the wash, because I had only really put the grays and the turquoise and the wash, when my original plan was to put all of the base colors and then the wash. But I forgot this step. Forgot the skin, forgot the leathers. So, if I really want to be complete, I should do another wash over these areas. And I might. But I'm not super worried about it. I've been really kind of wanting to try out a Votan army, but my reason is like 99% because I want to paint them like the Rock Raiders from Lego. But then I started working on these guys again, and I realized that this scheme is already really close to that, which isn't the worst. It would still be a little bit different, mostly in terms of how dark or bright some of the colors are, but it really is, you know, kind of the same key selections. You know, we got gray, brown, and turquoise. The Rock Raiders will obviously have some neon green though. So I'm less like hung up on the idea after realizing that it's so similar to my Tau. But it's still always in the back of my mind. Very tempting. I don't want to have to buy a bunch of Votan models though. I'm not like super excited about their lore or anything. I think it's interesting, but they're not one of the factions that really grab me. It's just more they've got some cool models. Dang, I forgot to paint this guy's heels. That's so annoying. I don't know, maybe he's got some special orthopedic boots that cover his heels. Why not? Some Dr. Scholl's for Tau. Ba-boom. When I did finally base coat these guys, I also did this ethereal, so I need to, he's probably going to be one of the priorities. I don't know if I'm going to do him before the crisis suits or not, but he's kind of a big deal. Sort of the villain of this story. So that is a pass on everyone's boots. Alright, we'll just do a white base for the lenses and then some thinned red over it. There's the lid. Alright. We'll go to the needle brush. I do need to do some more metallics actually, now that I think about it. I want to do kind of the teeth inside these railguns. I want to do those in like a bronze color. And then of course everybody's got their iconic, I've never really known what to call these. I always think of it as a bolt on their gun barrels. That's not really what it is. It just kind of looks like a screw head. But the majority of my army has those in like brass or gold color. I did use gunmetal in a couple of places. I'm not 100% sure what I will go with for these guys. I think in the basing process I just used a black metallic, but I don't think I'm going to stick with that. Alright, so we've got 2 helmet lenses and 2 marker light lenses. And there is an opportunity, I suppose, for some other... I mean, you can always put more details. There's always something else you can add. At some point, you gotta call it good. And, you know, these guys are... They're the Pathfinders. They are not meant to be the big heroes or anything, and so I gotta temper my energy and not get caught up pouring a ton of detail into them. They're not for display or competition. They're just there to get the job done. There to find paths. I think his gun is on his back, so obviously he's not using it right now. So I think I'll leave his marker lights alone. Give them a more dull look, like they're turned off. But not, you know, like romantically. This guy, his head ended up aiming a little bit too high. It looks like he was just getting distracted on the battlefield. Let's hope your fellow Shaslan do not pay for your distraction, my boy. Okay, and this is the third rail rifle. I am excited to try and use these guys. I don't think that I've played a decent amount of 10th edition at this point, but not so much with Tau, and rarely, if ever, with Pathfinders. I have not had the pleasure of experimenting with rail rifles yet. Especially not since they had their rework. Their rules adjustment. So hopefully that will be fun and or interesting. Okay, go ahead and hit that. And then I think I'm gonna do this little, this orb thing. And some glowing as well. Make it kind of like a hologram vibe. Opa. I like to make the bases at least a little bit more interesting. My practice with the original guys was just kind of tipping everything as if they were just sort of walking across like a rubble-strewn concrete road. Some busted up asphalt. And, you know, I'm sticking to the urban basing here, but it'd be nice if they could have something else going on besides just gray rubble on the bases. I love helmets. They're so much easier to paint than eyeballs. Skin. I just kind of fill up the lens with one color. Call it a day. See, we got all of those, yep. I say that, but I did use the unhelmeted Chasui head. Chasui head for this squad. Because the guy's got like a cybernetic eye, which is really hard to see on the sculpt, but it definitely becomes more clear once it's painted. So hopefully I'll manage to paint his eye without mucking it up. Excuse me. I know that buried among all the files and things that I've got, I have some weapon effects like muzzle flashes, some of which were specifically designed for the Tau. But I think I'm probably going to save those for bigger units. Alright, so just smear whatever that was off. Yeah, he's got like, one eye is like much wider. See, does that show up on the camera? You can see that I put the little dot in there. So that's his cyber eye. He looks like a crazy dude right now. Alright, so let's get that is, this is airbrush paint, right? Yeah. I'm gonna try first with the speed paint. Got some Slaughter Red Army Painter speed paint. I am a little concerned that this will come out too dark, but we're gonna find out. Hopefully this nice bright white base coat will help, but it's also possible that that it's not quite thick enough. I only did one dot and one pass, so I mean, I don't think it's too dark, but I don't know. it's really ultimately just kind of a substitute for a classic lens effect that I'm used to, and I just have to kind of pick my battles of, do I want to commit that kind of time for Pathfinders? And the answer is no, not really. I think once it dries, it might end up being too dark. So I might come back with another dot of white, pass of red. Alright, and then we've got this one where there's no white base. So his equipment should feel like it's been turned off. It's not as bright as everyone else's. I do want to go back and make sure all of these grenade barrels are filled in black. I don't think that some of these are. I really love the Tau armor design. The vertical optic setup. The sloped back helmets. Opa. Ooh, that went on thick. That's really dark. I did not forget the guy with the scanner. I'm just not going to be doing that part in red. Let's try and hit the old man's eye. There we go. Yeah, I have no idea what else to do with his face. It's just so small, you know? His other eye is teeny tiny. I feel like anything that I manage to get into that space is just gonna get lost there. Be barely noticeable anyway. Alright, for a scanner dude, we're gonna use the this other contrast, Frost Heart. Because for me, glowing blue says technology. Alright. Alright, I think I'm gonna look at doing one more pass with these lens colors. Just wick the white way down. Are you secure, my guy? What the fuck is going on here? There we go. Alright, we'll just focus that dot right in the middle. That might be good enough. I don't know if I'll go back with the red. If these white dots end up in the right spot, I feel like they might just be enough. Just to communicate like, oh, these lenses are emitting light right from the center. But if this is too thick, that's definitely not gonna happen. Oh, he doesn't need any more white because his weapon's turned off. That guy might actually have turned out the best. Thanks to looking up and clearly. Oops. Okay, well that's actually very close to the classic effect. See, I'm gonna put Ooh. Should have gotten rid of a little bit more there. It's 8:38. Yeah, I'll leave the narrative stuff for when we're working on the battle suits. However, I do need to name this squad. It's been a while since I've given any Tau units a name. They tend to be pretty straightforward though. Pretty simple. Okay, that looks good. I'd already come up with a name for the Terminators, which I've got, you know, just my own mental naming convention here, which I'll end up breaking. Either I'll have to name these guys something else, skipping over the Terminators, or I don't know. Who cares? Let's pick a guy here who's got a nice white part on him. Let's see what it looks like if we do a second pass of the red. Let's thin it way down now. That might be too thin. Oh, okay. Yeah, I kind of think we're getting the most value with the white remaining visible. I'm gonna leave that the way it is. Let's see, let's go back to this guy. Because we are going to do another pass here. With the Frost Heart. I think that's going to be good. So So this is some kind of, little scanner thing. Put some little made up symbols here. Actually, now that I think about it, that's what we're gonna do. Probably needs to be first. Something nice and simple. Okay, and then come back and do some red. Yeah. Just a little marker there. Alright, I think that's going to be all for the fine detail stuff. I've got a blue wash. I don't remember if I used it in the past. Or Tau scan. I mean, it would be much easier to just blast everything with the black wash. Get the boots and the skin in one go. But I'm curious to see how it looks. So that being the case, we're going to start with somebody different. Somebody who maybe has only one foot sticking out, or is kind of obscured by some rubble. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm not convinced that that's an improvement. Let's just try some regular null oil. Yeah, the regular wash just looks better. Yeah, I think it's worth it. Alright. Ooh, that is too much. Oops. Oh dear.
Oh. Looks like maybe we can get more switches.
This guy's gonna come off of his base. Don't know when, but it's definitely gonna happen. I'll manage this. I think I'm gonna do the blue wash on his head. I just realized I didn't actually paint his hair. But yeah, the blue wash I think is the ticket for the face. And then, you know, the black wash works well down on the feet and stuff. Because why wouldn't it? Their feet are clumping around in the dust and the dirt constantly. Alright. Focus. Get the white balance. So camera. Yeah, there are a whole ton of settings that I can play with too. And writing things up, but that's pretty decent though. All right. So I'll do something for the bases of the Pathfinders. Maybe make it look like the rubble is some kind of colored brick. With some dry brushing on top or something. But other than that, I think that I'm gonna be done with these guys. So just gotta set aside some time to get the airbrush going again, get some primer on these battle suits. Actually, now that I think about it, I should do something for their bases first. I have some kind of complex where I'm super hesitant to work on bases because I'm worried that they'll just ruin everything. But I think that they've been turning out pretty well. I mean, I didn't really do much for the Space Marines. They just kind of got a layer of technical and some paint. And these guys aren't going to be much different. But they're getting the job done. Go through the squad. Make sure all of our grenade launchers are filled in. I almost never use grenades in 40k, mostly because I forget about them. You know, they're very useful, but I'm just really thinking about which units have them and in which situation to use them. For a while in this crusade that I'm in, I had a unit of Tyranid Termagants that had picked up the grenade trait. That was kind of funny. Always a nasty little surprise for them to walk up and start hucking grenades. I think that that on the sheet I called them like combustive sacks or something. Like they just grew little pustules filled with corrosive liquid that exploded on contact with the air. Unfortunately, that unit of Termagants had to get retired. I strongly prefer Hormagants anyway, and that's what I replaced them with. But I would still take that grenade trait any day of the week. Maybe not as my first choice, but oh, and then where's the guy with the one on his back? Alright. So I've got metallics wise a bunch of silver stuff, which is not what I use for this, and then copper and gold. Copper is what's gonna stand out a little bit though, so that's what I'm gonna use. I like how I was like, yeah, I think I'm done with these guys, even while still pulling out new paint to put on them. But I figure I'm here, and technically I haven't run for a full 2 hours yet. Never been super hung up on the time frame, as evidenced by the fact that I was 15 minutes late. But if I'm gonna be 15 minutes late, might as well hang out a few minutes longer. Okay, this brush is probably gonna be too big. Hoopa. Yeah, I do like that already for a little bit of visual distinction. Cool. Let's do a couple more of those. I did mean to. One of these guys is reloading the rail rifle, and his new cartridge or whatever has some kind of gubbin sticking out of it that I meant to do in a different color as well. So maybe we'll do that in copper. Copper is like the battery color anyway, so this feels fitting. The battery color and the magnet color. Man, I can't like shoot a decent shot for the life of me. Alright, so that is that. A little bit on this top side. Oh, you know what? Actually, now that I'm here, let's do this cog thing in copper as well. I think on the pulse rifles, historically I've done like gold. But I think that it's good if these are a little different. Oh, but now that I think about it realistically, I need to be going and doing all of these cogs, not just the rail rifles. Everybody's got cogs on their pulse carbines. Brother, it's just like, what is the trick, you know? Where is the shot? Okay, part of the problem is my camera was at the bad angle, so that'll help a little bit. I don't know why I'm not in the habit of like checking the angle before I start, which makes the most sense, but whatever. Alright, so here's the third guy. He's doing a bit of reloading here on his rail rifle. It was cool, I was taking some pictures of the minis earlier, and I staged it with some of the new Tau terrain. Set it up so we had these these Pathfinders emerging from the barracks in hot pursuit of none other than the huntsman, Phobos Lieutenant there, making his getaway after performing, I don't know, some kind of infiltration, maybe assassinating somebody. They all rush out to chase him, but he's leaping over debris, dodging shots as they blast through walls. That was not as clean as the other ones, but okay. It seems really thin for some reason. Boom. Oh, that is the other thing. Fortunately, we've already got some black set aside here. Obviously, it's not plugging this into a blank face. He's plugging it into an open port. So we need a hole here. Alright. That's definitely good enough to call done. I'm still tempted to do some highlighting on the turquoise. But, I think maybe I'll just leave that for a much later date. Oh, wow. That was insane. That's why I use the handle, ladies and gents. Oh, we've got a couple other things like his bonding knife. Now, of course, the little banner here is, I mean, the obvious choice would be the sept color, the turquoise, but I don't know. Might be nice to do something a little different. Just gonna do the hilt in black. Doesn't seem like this part got properly primed. So that's unfortunate. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna put some flat. Turquoise is not the actual color. It's a mixture of. Oh, can't help myself. I'm gonna do the full thing. So it's a mixture of turquoise and gray. Coal gray. Maybe it's not coal gray, it might be the charcoal, but that's okay. It's not really as important here what the color is. I just really don't want it to feel like there are any elements that I just ignored, which there still will be. I like to do some glowing around these cogs, which again, I haven't painted, but now I'm going to because I can't leave them. This is one of those rail rifle cartridges. I can't be mad. I love doing it. I'm really glad that I returned to this hobby. It's very cathartic. Step aside, gay boy. I'm about to unleash my divine potential. Pretty common to do some dual tone stuff on their antenna as well, and I'm just not going to do that. Wow, the washing machine is making my camera shake in the other room. It's crazy. I don't think I've ever noticed that before. Nope, not on camera. Nothing special going on there. Stand up. Stand up for your sept. Stand up Your brothers and sisters in arms. Stand up for the greater good. That might be too thin. See, this guy is done already. Which just leaves the boss man. Nope, he's done already as well. Oh! This band wraps all the way down the handle, so let's go ahead and get some more. That turquoise, and follow this down. See, we're gonna do passive black on his braid here. Here, get in the handle before I mess something up. Man, that is really thin. For no reason. Alright, let's make him a little gray-haired. Years of service beginning to show. Yeah, that's solid for a couple hours work. And I think that's going to be all for today. These Pathfinders are just about done. Give them a pass on their bases and they'll be good to go. And then next will be prepping some battle suits. Some sun forges. They're all magnetized up, so eventually we can kit them into whatever. But for now, what we need is sun forges. All the devilish armor in this edition, of which we have precious little. But yeah, that's the run for today. Thanks for joining, tuning in. Hope you'll check it out next time. Hopefully I won't go on like a month-long hiatus like I did this time. But I'm certainly going to have plenty to work on, so lots to show off. But yeah, this is Death Pirate signing off. Have a good one.